Hey guys, Pirate Captain Dark here with a review for Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs. Now before I begin, let me just say that this does contain spoilers for the Amnesia titles. If you haven't played them, feel free to check out my Let's Play of Amnesia, and with that out of the way, let's review the story. You wake up in a caged bed, and after stumbling over your own feet, you find out that you are Oswald Mandis, a wealthy British industrialist and explorer.
I held your hand and watched the blood pool between your legs. You lived long enough to see Edwin, but not Enoch. I will take care of them, my love. I promise you this.
It is revealed that you lost your wife during childbirth and must now find your two boys, Edwin and Enoch. Your only clues come from notes and mysterious voice on the other end of a telephone line.
Mandis, do you know me?
Who are you? Where are my children?
Trapped, Mandis. Far below us. The machine is fouled. It is breached. It is flooded. The bulkheads are down. The children are engaged. If you help me, I can help you release them. Restore the power, Mandis, drain the flooding, and restart the great engines.
How? Where should I go? Hello? Hello?
Thus begins your journey to rescue your children who are trapped at the core of this machine, deep, deep underground. While I believe that this is a rather frightening and chilling story, the pacing was rather off. And while this may be an indirect sequel to the first game, I really didn't learn anything new about the power of the orbs. All we know so far is that they show a possible dark future to anyone who comes into contact with them, thus warping their perception of the world and bringing out their ugly side, the ugly nature of humans.
This way, Papa. Come and see. Will it hatch? Can we take it home?
Yes, my darlings. Of course we can take it home.
I feel it's safe to assume that the power of the orb does not work on younger minds, as children are often portrayed as innocent. I would have liked it more if the story was paced differently and answered more questions. Some questions that I would like to see answered are, why is it that all of a sudden I change my mind about what I've done? Why do I have amnesia in the first place? And more importantly, why does the orb no longer affect me now? Overall, I give the story for Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs, a 7 out of 10. The music. 10 out of 10 would listen to all the time if I could. From the church organ, to the descend down to your monstrous machine. The music was always breathtaking and perfectly executed. Well done. The gameplay. They took away a lot of features, one of them being the sanity and health meter. And I say good riddance. A game shouldn't have to tell you when you're losing it, or when you're hurt. I'd rather start questioning my own sanity in real life. And I did. So well done in that department. However, in the Dark Descent, you lost sanity when you stared at monsters, causing you to grind your teeth and eventually fall on the ground with a constant ringing next to your ear. Now you can just stare all you want and the monsters couldn't care less, and that's perfectly fine, but they should be more aware of their surroundings. Perhaps the monster is sensitive to smell, so you must constantly hide your scent. That's just one example, but each monster might have a different sense that they are attuned to. I'll talk more about this later on. Another feature that they took out was the inventory and the ability to carry items. The items that you are able to carry and bring along with you are mostly mandatory items required to progress the story. This not only made the puzzles very easy to solve, but it also took away from the interaction. Interactions such as hiding spots. In my opinion, that's one of Amnesia's core features. I remember thinking during the Dark Descent, is that thing gone? Is it safe to come out from this hiding spot yet? Lastly, your lamp no longer required oil. Due to their nature, the pig monsters cause flickering of lights. This in turn conditioned us to start freaking out whenever lights flickered. What's the problem? Not every flicker of light means there's a monster nearby, and if there's a miss, meaning no monster present, or the monster has no way of reaching me, the flickering loses its effect quickly and we experience an extinction. Too long did not listen? If you're going to scare us using flickering, make sure it's going to leave us permanently scarred every single time. Thus, the gameplay receives a 7 out of 10. Overall, this might seem like a harsh review, but I genuinely had fun with the game. I was indeed frightened, and on more than one occasion. My problem with this game is that it has the potential to be so much more. And before you say that's easier said than done, I have come up with a short list of what I would like to see in the future. Number 1, a deeper, darker storyline. Something that makes me cringe even more about the past actions of my character. A story that explains the origins of the orbs, but also their effects. But most importantly, the problem of my amnesia. Why do I have amnesia? If I read more notes, shouldn't I remember something? Wouldn't it be better to have a flashback where your interactions with the past have an effect on the present and perhaps even the outcome of the game? That brings me to my next point. Number 2, choices. Let me start by comparing Amnesia to horror rides in amusement parks. They were, for the most part, scary, but they only had one linear path. In other words, no matter how many times you took that ride, it would remain the same. A game shouldn't be linear like that. It should be different every time you play it. Based on your actions in the game, how fast you solve puzzles, the decisions on whether to save or not save NPCs, and your past memories, the game could have different endings. The monsters could have different spawn points. This makes for a different experience every single time you pick up the game, and it adds to the replay value as well. Number 3, the consequences of death. No matter how many times you died in Amnesia, there were no consequences. And while I would hate to have to start all over from the start, there needs to be something that we lose as a result of being caught or killed by the monsters. Examples? How about a limb? Maybe our vision. Maybe our loved ones. Or maybe we're simply thrown into a pit of blood and corpses and we must climb our way through cries of anguish and despair. Seems like a horrifying idea to realize that you must become the monster in order to move forward in the game. Number 4, the monsters. Like I mentioned earlier, I would like to see better AI and better design for the monsters. One such direction could be the principle of the 3 wise monkeys. See no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. One monkey covers his eyes, another covers his ears, and the last one covers his mouth. Maybe these could be turned into the monsters that hunt our protagonist in the next Amnesia title. These are just some of my thoughts, and I hope they're well received. It is definitely an adventure and a game for all horror fans out there. Overall, I give Amnesia a machine for pigs an 8 out of 10. I look forward to what the future holds in store for frictional games. As always, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and a comment about your thoughts on the game. This is Pirate Captain Dark, and I shall see you guys next time. Later for now.